Hey guys, welcome back to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries. This evening I thought we would put together a delicious casserole that's pretty easy to make, and it is called a chicken broccoli potato bake. This is really good, guys. So anyway, let me show you everything goes into this, and I will tell you my bacon's in the oven right now because it does require bacon, but it is in the oven right now. But it's just about done. But I'm going to show you everything else that goes into this. So give me just a minute. Okay, guys, here we go. Okay, you're going to need about 4 medium-sized potatoes. These are going to be peeled, and these are going to be cut up into chunks, okay? I've got 2 chicken breasts here that we're going to cut up into chunks as well, like the potatoes that goes into this. And then you're going to need just like 1 tablespoon or so, maybe 2 of canola oil, because that's going to we're going to put that in some seasonings and mix it together. And then you're going to need about a cup of mozzarella. You can use cheddar if you want to, or any kind of cheese that you all prefer. As a matter of fact, I might just decide to sprinkle a little cheddar on this before it's over. Who knows with me? So anyway, you are going to need some broccoli. Now, this is frozen broccoli, okay? This is bird's eye frozen broccoli. I got it out of the bag. I rinsed it off with really cold water, and then I trimmed it. What I do is, for this recipe, I like to trim my broccoli stalks off of my broccoli and kind of make them just a crown. So anyway, I put some of those in here, and we're going to put some water in here, and we're going to boil these just for a few minutes, almost kind of like blanching them. When you blanch broccoli, it will keep, it makes it greener and a little softer that way, but we're going to make sure it's done. You want your broccoli to pretty much be fork tender, so that's what we're going to do with this. Now, the broccoli, guys, you have to use however much broccoli that you like in a casserole. I can't really tell you. I can't really say, but I'm going to venture to say there's probably over a cup of broccoli, maybe a cup and a half, something like that. Okay, we'll put that back on the stove, and then you're going to need a pound of bacon. Like I said, my bacon's in the oven, but it's just about done, and then I'm going to crumble it up. That's all you need to do with your bacon, set it aside. So that's everything that goes into this. So, okay guys, what you're going to do here, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. The bacon is done except one little piece, so I put it back in. It shouldn't take it but a minute. But, sorry guys. But, it's done. Don't that look good? All crunchy and stuff. It's really a shame you have to crumble all that up. But that's alright. It's going to make this really, really, really good. Okay. I'll either crumble it by my hand, or I'll just chop it with the big chef's knife. I don't really know yet. But anyway, the bacon is done. And then what we do here is I will get my casserole dish. I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. And, but we've got to cut up our chicken breast and our potatoes. And then when we get that cut up, we're going to add it to our greased 9x13 casserole dish. Okay? But first of all, what I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to put, I rinsed my chicken breast off real good, and I dried it. It's in some paper towels, but I'm going to I put it in the refrigerator because I don't like my meat to be left laying out for long periods of time. So all we're going to do, let's crumble this bacon. We're just going to crumble this up, y'all. But I'm not going to make it in little bitty pieces. I'm going to leave it a little big, so we can taste it, you know. You can taste it if you crumble it up a little finer, but I thought, well, let's just kind of pull it apart like this. Get it in there that way. That one got a little fat on that one, but okay. And I'll tell you, this was the thick bacon from Walmart. When the thick bacon is not as big a pack, it's not actually a pound. So, just so you know. But you really want to do a pound for this. At least I do, but even though this is a little less, that's okay because this was the thick sliced bacon, and that's why you don't get a whole pound. It's close, but I can't remember exactly what it was. So, But I love Walmart's bacon, guys. It is so good. I'm telling you now. It is so good. I just figured we'd do it this way instead of putting it out on the cutting board and chopping it, and then we have to wash my cutting board off again. And because I got to have those, have it for the potatoes anyway. There we go. That looks better than being so fine looking, but all right. I have to wash my hands because I've got grease all over them. That's how I do mine. I do sometimes make it a little finer than that, but this time I decided I wasn't going to make it that fine. That right there is the perfect size. And then what we're going to do is we are going to, first of all, spray our casserole dish. So let's get that done right now. So you want a 9 by 13 casserole dish. I think I specified that at the beginning. So that's what you want. And I'm just going to spray this down the sides and the bottom real good. Now, as I told y'all before in probably one of my videos, excuse me, what I like to do is just take a paper towel and lightly wipe over my greased casserole dish just to make sure that it's evened out everywhere. So it's not kind of thick, you know, one spot. But I don't rub real hard because I don't want to wipe my cooking spray out, right? Okay, so right now, I'm just going to move this, I'm going to set this to the side, guys, just for a minute. We're just going to start cutting these potatoes. These are russet potatoes. I'm not real fond of the russet, but at the time, that's what they had, and they didn't have the Idaho in the 10-pound bag. They only had it in a 5, and I wasn't about to pay what they wanted for it for a 5-pound bag of Idaho potatoes. I forgot to go to Kroger's because Kroger's had Idaho on sale, and that's usually where I get them, but I forgot. You see, that's how I'm cutting them up. I'm just chunking them up like that. So let's get these in the strainer over here so we can wash these off again here in a few. And I'm just going to get these cut up right quick. They keep sticking to my knife. I hate that. So I might make them just a little bit smaller because I'm afraid if I don't, really, that they're going to be too hard to get done. Rinse these off right quick, and I'm thinking that's a little too many, so I might put some in a bowl with some water. Yeah, I guess I should have just stuck with 3, but it's really up to you all how many you want, how many potatoes you want in this, because I don't want to overload it with potatoes because my husband don't like a casserole with a bunch of potatoes in it. Now, I'm different, but I try to accommodate him, you know, that way. And but then he does the same for me on certain things, you know, where I put more stuff in and on a different one or something. So we kind of keep things evened out like that, I guess you'd say. Okay, guys, let's get this chicken cubed up, diced up, whatever you want to say. Not really diced, but like we did the potatoes. What we're going to do, though, is when we cut this up, we're going to start adding this to our casserole dish. So what I'll do is how about let's do this. Let's use a paper plate and put this in. That way I don't have to dirty another bowl. So let's do that. And, well, that knife's in the dish water, so we'll use this one. Okay, so let's start cutting this up, guys. I'm just going to lay this one over here in the plate. And I just cut it up into chunks, guys. That's all I do with this, okay? So I just, wherever I want to start at, I just go along with it. Cut it this way first. That's how I do it. Get it over there and get it off my knife. Because this is going to bake with the potatoes, okay, first. Alright, and then I just sort of cut it up into little pieces, like chunks. Chunk size, I guess. So, cut that a little bit. I'm just going to stick it over here. And then we'll try to cut this one up together. And I'll tell you, I think y'all probably heard me say this before, but if you have never heard this, me say this, guys, in my other videos, if you're watching this first time or whatever, if you leave your chicken breast a little frozen when you go to cut it up, it makes it so much easier. It really does. But I'll tell you what makes a difference, too, is your knife. If you've got a good sharp knife, you can go through chicken like nothing. And this knife is sharp. My husband just sharpened all my knives with my steel the other day. So they're really sharp, and it's going right on through it with no problem. So that's good. Alrighty, we're on our last piece. We're going to do, whoops, move that side. Do the same thing. Y'all are having a good evening. I hope y'all are staying safe. And, but there is a friend of mine. Y'all may know who she is. Her name is Georgia Million. I think her page is called Georgia Million's Meals. And I found out she's got COVID. So please, y'all, pray for her. She's such a sweet person. I love her to death. And her and her husband both has it. But he's been more since she has. But I haven't talked to her today. But I was a little concerned about her. But anyway, y'all, just please say a prayer for her. That she'll get better, and you know the Bible says ask and we shall receive, right? So anyway, I just want to let y'all know that. All right, guys, I'm going to get my hands rinsed off here with this. I'm going to wash this bowl up real quick, get it out of the way. But I have that chicken in. Get my hands kind of washed off a little bit from that chicken. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get this in on a casserole dish. I'm going to be doing my broccoli here soon, too. But it don't take very long, so I'm saving that for last. But I haven't put no water in the broccoli, and I'll tell you why. Because when you put water in your broccoli like that, and you leave it sit in a pot or a bowl or anything like that, when you boil it finely or whatever, and then you strain it, that broccoli to me, it's kind of, I don't want to say it, it soaks up a lot of that water. And I don't think it's as good, but that's just my opinion. So that's why I don't have no water in the pan of the broccoli yet. What we're going to do is we're going to dump the chicken in our greased 9x13 casserole dish. Our cut up chicken, guys. We're just going to dump that in there. And like I said, you can use more chicken if that's what you want to do. But now I take my chicken and I kind of spread it out a little bit, because that way it'll cook a lot better. And with it being in chunk-sized pieces like this, it will cook a lot quicker too. I mean, I guess you could leave it whole if you wanted to, but just remember it's going to take it a little longer. Unless you cut it, you know, horizontally or however you want to cut it, you know, it might be, if it's thin, it probably wouldn't be too bad. So, all right. Let me wash my hands before I grab my taters, even though it's going in together, but I still like to do that. And then here, after this, we're going to make up our little seasoning, and that won't take long to do. And we'll be putting this baby in the oven. Let's just start putting your potatoes in there. Just spread them around the pan. This could take anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes to cook, something like that. And it may be a little sooner because, like I said, it's cut up in chunks. And my experience with cutting chicken up into chunks like that, it doesn't take near as long. So we're going to check it here and there, though. And I'm just kind of nestling my potatoes kind of down to my chicken. Here's your chicken and your potatoes, and I'm going to set that to the side until we need it. And now we're going to get a bowl. What have I done with my bowl? Lordy have mercy, Cheryl. You're always losing something here in the kitchen. All right. So, here's what we're going to do for our seasonings. We're going to take, I'm going to go ahead and use, we're going to go ahead and use 2 tablespoons of the canola, the Crisco canola. So, let me get my measuring spoons. Put your 2 tablespoons of oil into a bowl. And I like to kind of rake it out a little bit. Okay, here's another one. Usually I do this just pouring it in there and I can guess at it, but since I'm doing it by recipe, I want to just show y'all. Because it does help people, you know. Because a lot of my recipes I know by heart and I can just put them together and no big deal. But, you know, I want to make sure people knows. We got our 2 tablespoons of our canola oil in our bowl. Okay. Get a paper towel because I'll probably need it anyway to lay this utensils on. Okay, put that away. And you know, if you happen to need a little more, you can always add a little more. All right, we're going to start with some garlic powder. Now, these seasonings, guys, are to your taste. You put what you like for garlic powder and pepper and all of this, okay? You can use whatever seasonings you like, too. If you don't like some of these seasonings I'm using, change it up a little bit and put something you like. I mean, that's what makes these recipes good, guys, is just sort of changing them up, and that's what I like to do with them. Okay, I'm going to add some garlic powder first. So we're going to put some of that in there, and I might need a little more canola. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But see, we like a lot of garlic, all right? Then I'm going to add some black pepper. I can get it out. We like black pepper too. Then I'm going to use some smoked paprika. Now guys, when you use this paprika, and if it's smoked, you need to be very easy with this because this is one of the louder seasonings, okay? And it is. It's very, very loud. So don't overuse it or something unless you just like that flavor. But I do put some in. I don't put a big bunch, but I do put some in there, you know, to kind of give it that smoky flavor. All right, now we're going to use some white pepper, and you use whatever you all like, but this pepper here is milder than the black pepper, so I'm just going to shake some of that in there. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of the dried parsley flakes. Not a lot. This seasoning's going to wind up going up my nose. Okay. I use a little bit of the table blend. Mrs. Dash is just a generic brand. I get this at Aldi's. But my husband likes it, so I try to use it in my seasoning mixes. Because it is no salt. And as you know, if you see me in my videos, I never use salt unless it's an absolute have-to thing. All right, and then lastly, we're going to use some onion powder. Okay, we're just going to pour that in there like that. All right, I'm going to get me a whisk. Well, I'm going to knock out other utensils out of my utensil jar in the process. Well, I'm just going to whisk this together. Now, if it looks like we're going to need more canola, we'll get more canola. Just make sure you whisk this in together really good, guys, because these seasonings can stick together. Okay, I think, well, I don't know. Let's not go that route yet because I may not need any more. But when we put this over our potatoes and chicken, we're just going to have to just toss it. Okay, that's how you do that. I forgot one thing, guys. Hang on just a minute. I am going to put a little bit of real garlic in this. I'm not going to use a bunch, but we're going to put some of it. And I'm just going to get me a regular teaspoon. I'm not going to fool with getting those tablespoons down and my other ones and go through all that mess. So, let me get this stirred up real good. Always stir your garlic, especially if it's set for a little bit. Alright, I'm just going to put in, it's not a whole lot, but I don't know. That might be a half teaspoon, I'm guessing, something like that, give or take. But like I said, you have to put what you all like. Let me get that off my spoon. Okie doke. Where's my lid? Lord have mercy. Lose my mind, y'all. Okay. And then I'm just going to whisk that in there. Give it a good flavor. Give that chicken a good flavor. But see, now the garlic made it more clump up a little bit. So, use just a little bit of canola to this. Alrighty. And then stir it in again. See where you're at. And if it looks this way after you add your garlic, don't worry about it. It's not going to make a big deal. It's not going to matter, but add you a little more canola. There we go. That seemed to work right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our casserole dish and we're going to bring it over here. Okay. And we're going to add this to it. And then I'm just going to toss it around. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to add all these seasonings to our chicken and our potatoes. Okay. So let me get our casserole dish. Okay. Let's go ahead and pour this in there. We're just going to pour it all in there like this. Okay. Just pour it all in there. Because we're going to toss this around anyway. So it's not going to matter. So just toss it around your potatoes and your chicken. Okay, let me get it down here, son. Just mix that in really good. And all you got to do here. These seasonings is what really makes your potatoes and your chicken taste good, guys. I would have used a whisk, but I think my stuff would get caught up in that, so I didn't. I figured I better stick with what I got, right? So just keep coating these, guys, until you think that everything's coated with those seasonings we made up. See that it's all coated, then you're good. So just kind of flatten it back out a little bit. Put it wherever you want to put it. And then what we're going to do, we'll put this in the oven. We're going to let this bake, guys. So it's going to take it a little bit, but I'll let you know how long it took mine. But I don't think mine's going to take a whole long time because it's cut up in chunks. And the potatoes ain't that big, you know. So, all right, I'll put this in the oven, and I'll let you know how long mine took. And then when it comes out, I'll let you know how long it baked for. So I will be, guys, this has been in the oven. I set my timer for about 40 minutes. It's been in there for about, I don't know, 31 minutes, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this around, and then we're going to put it back in there and bake it a little bit more, because I don't think it's quite done yet. But it's getting there. I mean, it's getting close. I don't know if y'all can hear that sizzle, but it is a sizzling, guys. For sure. So we're going to check the potatoes and the chicken here, see what I think. See about how much longer it's going to be. Let me get a couple of napkins. I'm going to lay my spatula on this for a minute so I can get a fork and just check this and see if it's getting about done. All right, the chicken, wow, it's tender. Whew, it's hot though. Chicken's getting pretty close, guys. I mean, it really, I think so. And the potatoes, let me check them. They're getting pretty close too, so it ain't going to take this much longer. They're getting fairly soft. I think what I'll do is I'm going to try to, yeah, see there? See, I can put my fork right down in there, guys, and then just fall off. So it ain't going to be much longer. This is going to be done. So let me scatter this back out. And I'm going to put this back in for a few minutes and then let it cook for a few more minutes. So, but I'm going to get my broccoli going right now. I'm going to put a little water in my pot, and I'm going to get that boiling so we can get that done. That way I can get that ready to put on top of this. So anyway, guys, give me just a minute, and I'll be back here shortly, and we'll put our toppings on. Just a second. Okay, guys, we're going to check this. I'm almost positive it's done now. Lord. Let me stir this around a little bit more. The seasonings kind of stuck down there a little bit. But that's what happens. They do. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, you know. I know that's done, guys. I can tell by looking at it. It's done. So I'm going to tell you, it took So really it took over. I said 40 earlier, but it did take over that. So I was kind of surprised myself, because I make another one kind of like this, and it don't take it as long, but they're, you know, all dishes are different. So, and all ovens are different, guys. So just remember that. The potatoes are good and tender. My broccoli's boiling, and it's about ready to come off because it's getting good and tender. And we're going to go ahead and top this. But I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't want to break my potatoes up, you know. But it is done, guys. We're getting close to eating. So let me get my broccoli right quick. Now remember, you want to keep your stove on 400 because we've got to melt cheese. See there? It's my broccoli is ready to be strained. With your broccoli, guys, you are going to want to strain this good. I mean, really shake that strainer as much as you can, because you want to get that water out of that broccoli. If some of your broccoli looks like it's falling apart, that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. So don't worry about that. But you want to get that water out of there. So I pull my broccoli. I don't know if y'all can't see this. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. Let me show you something here. You can see this. You want to pull your broccoli to the side of your strainer like I got it right here. And what I do is I kind of push on it like this. And if y'all can see this, I kind of push on it and I kind of get some of that water out. Now, that is crushing the broccoli a little bit, but I can fluff it back out. No big deal. So, but that's the way your broccoli's supposed to be. Because you don't want it to be, guys, you don't want it to be real watery, you know, when you put it in your casserole, because it's going to make everything else watery. So you don't want to do that. I'm going to pour it in here. And let me kind of move it around a little bit. And it'll go, it's going to be spread out all over our casserole, guys. Look how pretty and green that is. Basically blanched, but I did it, it was over 2 minutes. So I'm not going to put the lid all the way on that because I don't want it to get real soggy or anything. You got to be careful with broccoli, guys. Like I said earlier, you don't want to, you definitely don't want to put water in it until you're ready to boil it because it gets soggy. It's kind of like it absorbs the water, I guess. So, guys, I got to get my cutting board to stay where it needs to be. Wants to give me troubles. Goodness gracious. Okay. So now, y'all, let's do this. Let's go ahead and let's top our casserole. So let me put you back down here on my casserole where you can see it. And here we go. So first, what I'm going to do is, let me move this bacon around. It's kind of greasy sitting there. And kind of break this bacon up a little bit. And let me get some cheese. Because all we got to do now, guys, is put our cheese on here, our broccoli on here, and our bacon. And then we're going to put it back in the oven. And we're going to melt the cheese for about 5 minutes or so, something like that. Just till your cheese melts. That's all you need to do. I'm going to move that bag away. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this broccoli first. It's probably pretty warm, but I'm just going to sprinkle it around in there. And it's soft. And that's the way you want it, just like that. That's exactly the way you want your broccoli. You want it to kind of look that way. But remember, we had to squeeze it because we had to get water out of it. So I may not use all this because that's quite a bit. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. It made it colorful, didn't it? I'm not really a big broccoli fan, but like this, I think it'll be okay. And I don't mind it, but it is, but you have to get the water out of it in order to put it in casserole, guys. You just have to. That's all I'm going to put in there. Because you don't want to put watery broccoli in your casserole because that's just going to make everything else watery, like I said. Mozzarella on here. Let's try and decide. You know what? Let's go ahead and put the bacon on because I don't want to cover it up with cheese. And guys, remember, I left my bacon a little chunky. That way you can taste some bacon. And then I might leave the rest of this just to sprinkle over the top. How about that? I'm not going to measure this cheese out, y'all. Okay? But I did give you measurements at the beginning of the video. You use however much cheese you want. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to sprinkle some mozzarella on here. That's the main one that I use. So, okay. This is going to be absolutely delicious and fairly healthy. And really, I guess, guys, you could consider this more of a low-carb meal because there's really nothing in it that's really, you know, there's bacon, and that's okay. Well, potatoes, though. The potatoes are a little high-carb, but I guess you could consider it to be a little low-carb anyway. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go with that. That's what I'm going to believe. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But we didn't add a whole lot of potatoes anyway, y'all. Okay. But anyway, let me get over here to the cheddar now. And we're going to put a little cheddar on this. Okay. Just sprinkle it on there. If you hold it up a little higher, it'll sprinkle out even for you. Get it all over the place, but it will. See there? See, it just sprinkles out even. I'm going to add just a little bit more mozzarella, though, because that's the main one that goes on this casserole. When I make it, I do the mozzarella more than I do anything, guys. So, anyway. Looking good, looking good. Now, guys, I'd love to put some green onion on here, but I don't really have the time tonight, so I'm going to take what bacon's left, and we're going to go ahead and sprinkle that on top there, just like so. Man, I can't wait. This is going to be so good. They are delicious, guys. They're not hard to make. It's a little time consuming, but they're not hard. And they're just, you know, they're a good little meal, I think. And if you want to put something else to go with it, you go right ahead. But it's already got broccoli in there, vegetable in there, so I ain't going to worry too much about adding anything else with it tonight. It looks delicious. And that's all the cheese I'm going to put on there. I'm not going to kill it with cheese. I mean, my opinion, y'all, I think you can also kill stuff with cheese. So I'm not going to put a bunch of that cheese on there for about 5 minutes or so, just until the cheese is melted. And once that cheese is melted, we can bring it out and I'll show you the finished product. But yeah, I'm going to have my mitten. So, guys, this is it. Don't that look delicious, delicious? Here, let me see if I can turn it around this way. Looks super, super good. And I can't wait to bite into a piece of it. All right, guys, I'll be back as soon as the cheese melts. Guys, it's done. The cheese is melted good. And, oh, it's going to be delicious. This is a must-try, guys. It really is. I highly recommend this casserole because it's delicious. I can hold on to this here. Check that out. Guys, doesn't that look good? Yum, yum, yum. The broccoli down in there, and the bacon on top sprinkled, and bacon underneath the cheese. It just looks so good. Try just a little bite before we go. So give me just a minute. All right, y'all, here we go. I'll show you what it kind of looks like with all that on there. Let's see all that. I think we're good to try it now. All right, let's see how this tastes. The chicken's good. Its flavor's good. The cheese is good on it. The bacon, everything is good. So, listen, guys. I hope you all have a great evening. And if you don't mind, go to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries on Facebook and like, comment, follow. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you don't mind, go to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. So listen, guys, y'all stay safe. And always remember to keep God in your heart and God in your life.